Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Are there any elite ballers in the house tonight? Okay, there's about 3 of you. Okay, let's say that again. Are there any elite ballers who are in the house tonight? You guys say it this way. Okay. If you are an elite baller, make some noise. My ladies in the front, they're elite ballers. Okay, let's try that again. If you are an elite baller, make some noise. Okay. I know we got the cool section over here. We got the chilled section back there. I know some of you are just too cool to have that emotion, but emotion is part of the game, right? It's part of the game of being able to express yourself. And if you're comfortable and confident in your skill and who you are as a player, then you don't have a problem with making some noise. So I'll ask it again. Are there any elite ballers in the house tonight? That sounds much better. Well, we want to welcome you to our mentality training seminar. We're excited to be a part of this and have you be a part of this. And it's all for a good cause, all right? My son started the Etienne Family Foundation years ago when he became a pro. And we also, with our Etienne Soccer School, we're in partnership in bringing this to you guys on tonight. All right, and we appreciate you donating gifts to children who are in need. There are some families that go through difficult situations and circumstances where parents may be incarcerated and children don't have the same privilege that you and I have of being able to experience the joy of the holiday season with their family, with their parents. And by you donating these gifts on tonight, you're gonna help us to be able to bless several children and families that can have a smile on their face during this holiday season. So give yourselves a round of applause for all of your donations. Yes, those donations, we're partnering with the Salvation Army and their Angel Tree program. And so this program, again, is so that we can put a smile on the face of young people who may not be able to enjoy Christmas with their families as a whole. So again, thank you for giving, and we appreciate you. Listen, we're going to get started in a minute, all right? There's several things we want you to do.
Now, we have 2 special guests. We know these people, but you might have seen them on television. But we're going to get to them a little bit later. But I have the privilege of introducing my nephew and my niece, who are professional players. Can y'all give it up for Derrick Etienne Jr. and his sister, Dani Etienne. Give it up for them, please. Yeah. Okay, we're going to be bringing them in on tonight so they can explain to you the journey that they've taken, because they've sat where you sat. They were young soccer players that decided, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I think can take me into college. This is something that can take me into a career. And so for them to do either one, be it a college Division I player, Division II or III, they both played Division I, or to be a professional player, it was a lot of sacrifice. So you guys get to get the inside scoop of what it takes to get to the next level. Y'all ready for this? They're not ready, Derek. They're not ready. Are you ready for this? All right, let's get it done.
So we want to thank, again, all of you for coming tonight. Parents, we thank you for allowing your children to be here, to be a part of this, and we appreciate your support. We want to thank the YMCA of Wayne for allowing us to host this event here. All right, again, those at the Angel Tree, and we thank all of you for being a part of this event. So, listen, we're going to get started because we need to know why we are here. Why we are here. This is a mentality training program, okay? But before I get to that, I almost forgot. We have some items here that Derrick Etienne wants to donate. Well, we're going to raffle them off for anyone who would love a signed Columbus Crew jersey, the home and the away. We have game-worn cleats that was worn once, just one game he wore them, and he's already signed them. And he had a pair that he was saving that he was going to wear with the new signing with Atlanta United, but he decided that he'll give it for the event on tonight. So we're going to raffle these off tonight. And you can, again, help us. All the funds will go towards the Etienne Family Foundation, which is the work we do in Patterson and in Haiti. Okay, so we need you to help us with this. The tickets for the raffle is real easy. It's $2. It's $5 for a ticket. It's $5. You're getting almost $200 pair of cleats. All right, brand new game-worn jersey. All right, so it's $5 a ticket for one. But it's also 3 tickets for $10. Okay, so you got a little deal there. All right, so if you want to get this raffle,
who do they need to see?
You need to see who is that? Chrissy is right here in the back. If you want to see her, if you want to go ahead and get the raffle, by all means, you go ahead and see her back there. Okay, so throughout the night, we'll raffle these things off. But make sure you see her. Young people, I know you don't have a job yet, so tell your mom, tell your dad, go back there and hook me up, okay? Tell them to hook you up, all right? Y'all ready for this? All right, mentality training. We're here, this seminar. We wanted to just talk to elite athletes or players who have a desire to get to the next level, players who have a desire to make it to that place of meeting your full potential and having the mentality that it takes to get there. You know what? All of us in this room have tried to improve our technical ability. All of us have tried to work on the technical ability. You've been in the gym. You've been outside in the yard. You've been going to practice. You've been doing extra training because you want to get better and skilled with the ball. All right?
So if you're working on your technical ability, that's basically how you control the ball, your first touch, passing, dribbling. Technical ability is striking the ball. There's your inside foot. There's your outside foot. There's long range. There's short range. Putting a curve on the ball, reading the run. So all of that is technical. And for you to be successful, it's going to take practice. Everybody just scream practice. It's going to take practice time and time again if you want to get better at just the technical ability of connecting your pass.
Then higher level players got to work on their tactical awareness. So you have to have an understanding of the game. You have to make decisions within the game. And it's higher level training that helps you to have that game understanding so that you know what to do in certain situations. So that's going to take even more practice. Everybody shout, more practice.
Then that takes you to the physical part of the game. The physical part of the game is your physical fitness. If you cannot run, you can't play this sport. Okay, if you're not willing to work hard and be able to run and jump and fall down and get back up again and keep going, that's what it takes. And then at the same time, physical also means working on your strength and working on your speed and your quickness, agility. All of that goes under the category of your physical side. So you have the technical side, you have the tactical side, and you have the physical side.
But we work on all 3 of those areas. But my question to some of you in the room, how many hours have you spent on the mental side of the game? I hear crickets. All right? So your parents have invested a lot of money, time. You've invested your time, your effort in getting your better first touch. You've invested your time and your effort in getting a better shot so that you can strike the ball harder.
Some of you have spent your time and your talent to come to Etienne Soccer School to be a better dribbler, to be a better shooter. And we appreciate it, and that was great because that focused on that aspect of your game.
So you worked on the technical, you worked on the tactical, you went to the field, you started running laps, you've been on the treadmill, you worked on the physical, but we have not thought about the mental side of the game. And then when things and situations and circumstances begin to happen, then that's when we crumble, that's when we fall down, that's when we fall short, and we never excel to the level of greatness. So tonight, all we want to do, let me give this disclaimer tonight, is it's just like going to a soccer camp. If you go to a soccer camp, you are not going to become Messi after one day of soccer camp, right? You're not going to become the greatest player after one day, all right? What happens at that soccer camp, that one day or that 1 week, is that you ought to have an experience that produces a level of hunger in you to want to be better. An experience at that camp ought to produce something in you that says, you know what, I want to get to the next level. And you'll leave that camp experience training on your own. The things that you've experienced at that camp, you're going to want to try to duplicate that every day at home. That's the same thing with this seminar here, is that we want you to just hear what we're saying tonight, and so that hopefully you would have a hunger in you to want to have a different perspective or a different way of thinking, a different approach with how you approach the game so that you can excel to the next level if that's your goal.
But wait a minute. There are some people in the room that feel I can get to the next level based on the team that I play for. I can get to the next level based on the club that I'm affiliated with. I can get on the next level based on who my coach is.
No. See, so if you think that getting to the next level is just by association, then you're going to miss what we're trying to say on tonight. It has nothing to do with what team you're on. It has nothing to do with, think about it. Your greatest player that you were watching for U.S., you like Christian Pulisic, he didn't play for a professional academy. So it's not about what team you played for. He played for PA Classics in Pennsylvania before he went over to Germany. So it's not about the team you have. It's not about the coach that you have. I know that, you know, if you were coached by me, you were coached by one of the greatest coaches in the East Coast.
But if you were coached by me, you were coached by the greatest coach in the East Coast.
But just being coached by us is not going to get you to reach your goal at the next level. So it's more than the team you play for. It's more than the coaching that you have. It's more than that. It's about the mentality of the individual who's willing to do what it takes to be successful. Who's willing to do what it takes to be successful. So real quick, let's just have a working definition of mentality, all right? So we'll put it up here on the board for you. I want you to see this, all right? Mentality, okay? Mentality, by definition, is simply a habitual or characteristic mental attitude that determines how you will interpret and respond to situations. I'm going to explain that. A habitual or characteristic. So this is a habit. Mentality is a habit, which means it's something that you repeatedly do. It becomes second nature. Your habit or your characteristic of your mental attitude, watch this, and it determines how you interpret and respond to certain situations. So basically, I'm going to break that down. So basically what it means is you have a certain habit of how you react, how you respond based on what life gives you. In context of us as elite soccer players, based on what the game gives you. Based on what the team gives you. What is the referee doing? What does the weather look like? So many things happen in the game, and how you interpret what's happening and how you respond to what's happening, it reveals your mentality. And so some of us, let's give an example. You were a starter. You start for your team, you've been playing every single game, and the coach decides for this next game, you're not starting, you're coming off the bench. The coach gives the lineup, and now you have a different team that's in the lineup, and your name is not in it, you're coming off the bench. Hopefully you'll get in the second half. Now you have to, your mentality will be revealed based on how do you interpret what just happened. How do you interpret what just happened? So some of you are going to be ticked off with the coach. Some of you are going to say, wait a minute, this coach doesn't like me. This coach plays favorites.
This coach doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, I've heard that one. This coach doesn't have a clue, does not know what he's doing. So, and then if you have conversation with your parents about it too, if they are not helping you to have the right interpretation of what's happening, they can feed into this. I'm going to have a word with this coach. All right? So now, rather than you interpreting it differently, you've got to interpret it not that the coach doesn't like you, not that the coach plays favorites. You have to have the mentality where you have an accountability for your own game. Where you can look and you can say, wait a minute, I must not have made it clear to this coach that I'm him. I must not have made it clear that I'm the guy. I'm her. I'm the girl. I must not have shown that I'm the one that solidified this spot. So I'm going to wait for my moment, and then when the opportunity comes, then I'm going to make sure that I seize this moment.
But then you get into the car. Let's say you have that mentality, and you get into the car, and then mom and dad is saying, what's wrong with this coach? I can't believe the coach didn't play you. What's going on? And you may have the mentality to say, maybe there's something with me that I need to do more. Mom, dad, you weren't at practice, and Johnny was a little bit better than me this week. And then you still have that struggle because dad is saying, no, I've seen it. You're better than Johnny. You're better than Michael. You're better than Rebecca. I'm going to have a word with this coach. I'm sending an email Monday morning.
So how do you interpret what's happening? And if you're going to be an elite athlete, you cannot have the interpretation that everybody is against you, that the coach doesn't like you, the teammates don't like me. As long as your interpretation is always external first, then you'll miss the possibility for you to learn from this situation and respond differently. So you have to respond or think internally first. What's wrong? What did I do wrong? Was I not training? Was I not sharp this week? Did I not play to the best of my ability? Was so-and-so outplaying me? Were they out hustling me? And if you are an elite athlete, you're honest with yourself.
Say that again, please.
If you are an elite athlete, you're honest with yourself about your efforts, about your energy, about your level of excellence, about how you execute. You're honest. But if you think that just because you scored 3 goals 2 years ago, that you are the starter, you missed it because there's somebody that was on the bench last year that came for your spot this year. And so you have to have the mentality to interpret it correctly. Look internally first. Is it me? What do I need to do? All right? And when I get my moment, I'm going to seize my moment.
And I've had several players that I've coached over the years, 27 years of coaching. And one of the things I look at, especially when I'm not in the training session. So let's say Darrell Jr., I wasn't at his practice. First thing I say, how was practice? And I listen to his first, the words that come out of his mouth first. Practice was good. So I would say, okay, that was good. So what did you guys do in training? And then he'll say, oh, we did this. We did some rondos. We did some possession. We did a little fitness. Coach was running us. He was trying to kill us with the fitness. He goes down and explains everything. Okay, how did you do in the scrimmage? Oh, I did well. And, and that's fine, day 1. Day 2, same thing. How was practice? And if I keep hearing that you were great and you never tell me, I sucked today, Dad. Today I struggled. Today my touches were off. Then that's when I already know then you don't know how to properly interpret your own game, your own performance. So what we've had to do is train the players and let them know you're not going to always be perfect, but you have to be able to interpret when I'm doing well, when I'm not doing well, and now what do I need to do to get better as a player?
So I have to interpret my own game. I have to interpret the situation. Okay, I'm not starting today. But then, according to the definition, now how do I respond? What I've seen happen on several times, and I saw it happen even in academy showcases, MLS Next showcases. I've seen players who were in the lineup, and then now that they're out of the lineup, they're sitting on the bench and they're struggling with it.
No. They're in the lineup, and it's time to go. Okay, guys, ready to go? They got their hands in. Let's go, guys. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, team, family. And they're so hype and ready to go.
When they're starting. But when they've got changed out of the lineup, body language changes. Their vibe changes. Attitude changes. They turn into hater mode because they're sitting on the bench watching someone else in their position, and there's criticism over everything that they're doing, throwing their hands up, talking to the players on the side like, you know what, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Coach, can I go stretch?
Did I tell you to go stretch? Sit down. So there's a vibe, there's an attitude. This is the response. So look, not even ready, because if that person gets hurt, we need someone ready to go into the game. But the person is not ready because he's interpreting it wrong and they're responding incorrectly. That's not elite. That's not the mentality of a player that's going to the next level. Okay? So this negative vibe, this negative energy is now just taking over them during this game. All right? Now here it is, halftime, second half. Hey, go warm up. All right? Go warm up. We're watching the game. He's getting ready, getting himself ready to play, getting himself ready to go. Okay? But not realizing that that toxic energy is still in him. That negative energy is still in him. So now he's ready to play, ready to go. All right, you ready? Let's go. You going in for Johnny. All right, make sure you do what you got to do. Seize the moment. It's your opportunity. I know you're frustrated because you didn't start, but get in here and show me something. Yes, coach. All right, so they get into the game, gets into the game, but here's the thing that I've seen happen hundreds and hundreds of times. The negative energy from the bench is still in his heart. It's still in his heart. It's still in his body. It's still in his mentality because of how he interpreted and responded to the situation. Now when he's on the field, first touch comes to him, it's a donkey touch out of bounds. Now you have another chance, you dribble out of bounds. You have another opportunity. Now you find yourself, you tripped over the ball or even tripped over your own feet. One-on-one, you and the goalie, and you can't get nothing off. Why? Because that negative energy, football is a game of karma. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and then sometimes what you give is going to come back to you. And that negative energy on the bench, now put that negative energy in your first touch. Put that negative energy in your shot. That negative energy in your tackle, and therefore you're not going to perform to your highest potential. So if you have the right mentality, you interpret not starting differently. You interpret it differently. You can disagree with the coach without disrespecting the coach. You can disagree and say, you know what? Okay, Johnny got that. Then you look within yourself, yeah, I may not have been sharp this week, or I thought that I was the guy this week. I thought I was the girl this week. But when I get my moment, I'll be ready to play. So the proper mentality, interpretation, and response will now have him being supportive of the one that's playing.
So now I'm on the bench, and someone is in my position, and they're not doing good at all. Inside, you may want to say, yeah, he shouldn't be in my position anyway. I can't believe coach gave it to him anyway. That's the hater. But a real elite athlete is saying, oh, Mikey, come on, keep it up, come on, next one, and mean it. Yeah. Let me talk to this side because I don't think they were feeling that side. So someone is in your position, and they're not doing too well, and you are frustrated because you feel you should be playing. But an elite mentality is you're still supporting that player because you understand when I get my moment, I'm going to make it happen. So I'm going to support. Good job, Johnny. Oh, Kathy, well done. Elsa, great work. Good job, Elsa. Good try. Next time. Zoe, well done, Zoe. Well done. But mean it. Yeah. But mean it. All right, let's go.
Yeah. So with that proper response, then that's the mentality of someone who's ready to grow, someone who's ready to improve, someone who's ready to get to the next level. The question I have for everyone in this room, how many of you want to play the highest level of football? Quickly raise your hand.
So now we got to interpret what the highest level is because different heights is different for different players.
Right.
For some, the highest level is be a starter on your high school team. You want to get that letter. And when you graduate, you have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's an excellent goal. All right, so that's one level. The next level, I want to play Division I college. Someone Division II.
Let's back up. I want to play for the girls. I want to play in the ECNL. I want to play in the Girls Development Academy. For the guys, maybe I want to play for the MLS Next. I want to play there. Now, do I want to play for my high school team? Do I want to play for Division I college? Do I want to go pro? So, do I want to play in the national team? So the question is, do you want to play? Let me do it this way. How many of you want to play in college? Okay, that's the majority of those in this room. How many want to be a professional soccer player? That's the majority in this room. There are even some adults who still have the dream. That's, you and me both. All right? So we have the goal. We have the dream. But the difference is, how are we going to get there? It's not going to be just by your technical skill. It's not going to be just because of how fast you run. It's not going to be just because of how smart you are. But your mentality is going to be the difference. We'll talk about it when I bring the panelists up. But there are some, most of you want to be in this room, want to be a professional. But here is the reality, that out of 100 players that are playing the game, that really one of them might be the one that makes it. They call it the 1% club. That there's 1% of that population of players that can actually make it to the next level. But you know who that 1% are? Those who are willing to have the right mentality. How they approach training, how they approach the game, how they interpret situations that's happening, and how they respond. The right mentality is the difference between a good player and a great player. The right mentality is the difference between a great player and the GOAT. The right mentality, okay? And so all of you want to play D1, all of you want to go pro. But the question is, if I talk to your coach, do you have the right mentality? What is your mentality during training? What is your mentality during training? Are you just there to have fun? Now, you're supposed to have fun. You want to enjoy what you're doing. But if it's just about having fun, then perhaps you want to stay at the recreation level. But if you want to be elite and on the path of being a pro, which you said you wanted to do, then sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes it's hard work. Sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's difficult. But how do you interpret and respond? I need everyone to just shout right now, say, interpret it right.
Interpret it right.
I already see it. Okay, let me ask again. I need everyone who really believes it, I need you to say it. Interpret it right and respond right. Right. So you got to interpret what's happening. Is this a good game? Am I having a good game? Because you can be a good player, having a good game, and still have the wrong mentality. Because there's one of the attributes of a great player, of a player that excels at the highest level, you have to be confident. If you want to be a pro, you have to have confidence. But there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is knowing that I trust in my training, in my abilities, that in which that I've practiced, I've trained, and I'm confident that I can execute when the time needed. Arrogance is, it don't matter, I know I'm better than all of you. It doesn't matter what the next player is doing. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. I'm the best, and whether I train or not. Arrogance is a selfishness and is a pride to think that you can do it all on your own. Confidence is confidence in what you can do, but also those around you to get the job done. So you've got to have the right attitude, and many people can be good players, but their mentality is all about them. The mentality is they think that they're the GOAT, and they really haven't won anything yet. They think that they're someone special, and they have not been proven in the middle of adversity of what it's like to go through the ups and downs of a pro career.
Somebody said that. We watched Messi and Mbappe battle it out in the World Cup, right? Most of you guys watched that.
Who saw the game? With your hand.
Okay, good.
Okay.
It's a big problem if you want to play pro and you don't watch soccer. Let me say that again. it's a big problem if you want to play pro, if you want to play at the highest level and you don't watch it. You have to study your craft. You have to look at it. You got to see which players are playing in your position and what are they doing and how are they handling certain things. But anyway, so you watched the game with Messi and you watched the game with Mbappe. 2-0, Messi's having a great time. He's about to get the championship. He's about to win the World Cup. And then in 97 seconds or 92 seconds, I can't remember, 90-something seconds, 2 goals scores by Mbappe. He's back in the running. Mentality. I'm not going to just roll over and let it happen. But watch what happens. You go a little bit further, they go into overtime. One team scores, the next team scores, it's 3-3. They go into penalty kicks. Argentina wins. Then I get disappointment, but what was Mbappe's mentality like? Did you see him get his award? Now Messi is his friend. Messi's his teammate. Back at, what is the name of that school? At PSG. They're the same, they're teammates. So now Neymar, who was also a teammate, who was frustrated that he got injured in the World Cup, is frustrated that his team, he scored and did everything he was supposed to do, and his team gave up the goal the last few minutes, and they're knocked out and eliminated. But his teammate won the World Cup. Messi's sending tweets. He's sending Instagram posts, and he's just so happy for my friend. Mbappe getting his award. What did he get, the MVP? The Golden Boot? That's the trophy. Mad. The mentality.
Now, I beg to differ.
Talk to me.
That's a negative mentality.
You're getting ready to see the twins fight on stage, but go ahead.
So, I think that that's the mentality of a competitor who hates losing.
Okay? But if I'm a competitor and I hate losing, but we just talked about supporting someone that just happened to just got the next level over you, I think that there's an opportunity to just put your pride aside for that moment. Yes, be upset that we lost. Yes, be upset I given everything I can, but then I lost. My friend is getting honored. He's considered the new GOAT, and I'm only 23 years old, and I have my whole career ahead of me. You can't be happy for 2 minutes for a picture?
You could tell we didn't win a World Cup, so we or didn't play in a World Cup final.
Derek's gonna and Dani, they're gonna have to help us with that.
So for me, this is where, when it comes to mentality, personalities are different. Personalities come into play when it comes to mentality.
Jordan and them, yep.
So if you could be a shy player and still be great, but you can also be that confident player, that alpha dog, and still be great. All right. So you look at the demeanor of Messi, and you look at the demeanor of Ronaldo, but they both have mentality of I want to win.
Right.
Okay. So personalities may come across differently. So when I look at Mbappe's response, I look at somebody that had it in his grasp, that had it right there. I almost achieved my goal, and though I'm happy for him, give me my moment to just process this, because that's how bad I wanted it.
Maybe.
That's the mentality that some people need to have, is how bad do you want it?
I agree with that.
And if you want it bad enough and you get that close, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. So I think he's not wrong. He's not wrong for his perspective in terms of, can you still support your teammates? But I also would go out on a limb and say I don't think he's wrong either, by just disappointed because I was there. I was in that moment. So mentality, it's about interpretation and it's about response. So it's not that his interpretation is, Messi, you suck, you didn't deserve it. I think the interpretation was, I was almost there and I could have had it. So mentality is how you interpret what's happening and how you respond. Lastly, and then we'll bring up the Derrick and Danielle. Mentality is mostly revealed during adversity. The mentality of a high-level player will always be tested and proven during adversity. What are some of the adversity that you experience in a soccer game? Shout it out if you have one. Raise your hand and shout it out. What is some adversity you go through in a soccer game? Y'all don't go through anything, so y'all win every single game. Okay. Giving up a goal. A defender who gives up a goal. You're down 1-0. How do you interpret the situation and how you respond reveals your mentality. Something else. Yes. Missing a chance. I had a one-on-one, 2 one-on-ones, and I missed both of them. How do you interpret that, and how do you respond? Another adversity. Back there, go ahead. Right there with the hoodie, yep. Getting fouled and the ref doesn't call it. How do you interpret that? Ref doesn't like me. The ref's a cheater. All right? And how do you interpret that, and how do you respond? Yes. Missing a penalty kick. France, you're right there. Missing the penalty kick. Brazil, that was my pick. You're right there. How do you interpret that? And how do you respond?
I have one. Getting a red card, and now you have to sit for another game. Your team is down a player, and then you're not only are you thinking that I let my team down, or now my team has to work double hard, but then I also have to think about, and I can't play the next game.
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
So now your mentality is revealed when those adverse situations happen. So if you miss the chance, you interpret that. You should interpret it as, man, I knew I should have finished that, but they can't stop me. I'm going to get another chance. That should be the proper interpretation and response is, oh, man, I got to finish that.
No, that's halftime, and everybody's talking. You saying, guys, my fault. I'm going to get it back next half. That's the mentality. Not, the wind was blowing, and there was the light was shining, and that's why I missed it.
Hey, you should have played it earlier. So we have excuses, but don't take excuses. You're accountable. The elite player with the proper mentality is accountable and can say, hey, that's me. I should have finished that. But you know what? I got behind them real easily. I got between the lines quickly, got the ball, and was able to finish. I'm going to finish the next one. So you've got to be able to interpret it and then respond. If I gave up a goal, you should not sink, and now we can't trust you for the rest of the game. For me, you'll be subbed at halftime. If you give up an early goal, it happens. Now it's the next play. How do you respond? So I interpret it as, okay, did I just miss the mark? Was I not marked up? Did I miss a tackle? Did I get out-jumped? Whatever it was, but then now, you know what? I got to make sure I make the next play. All right? So make sure that you respond based on how you interpret. You missed the penalty. It's okay. There's someone else behind you. You encourage the goalkeeper that they're going to make that save. All right? It's not the end of the world. You have another game to play. So how you interpret it and how you respond is critical to how the game goes and how your next game goes. Because if you carry that into the next game and the next game, then you'll end up in a goal slump, or you'll end up giving up several goals to the point that you're out of the lineup. So you've got to respond differently in the midst of adversity. Okay? Listen, here's what we'll do. There's more of this. We could talk all day about mentality, about confidence. But some of the other things I want to say, we'll bring up with some of the players, Derrick and Dani, and we'll ask some questions, some pointers that's going to bring out certain areas of mentality that you're going to see that they went through, but at the same time that you can learn from. But before we do it, we're going to go ahead and let's raffle off one of the cleats. We'll go with the green, game worn, just once worn and signed. Oh, we getting some more purchases coming in. All right, we got time. Remember, you can for $10 you can get 3 opportunities. All right, you do the math. If you want several opportunities, okay.
Keep in mind there
Now,
will be winners. There will be winners tonight.
There's gonna be winners. So someone's walking out of here with these game-worn cleats that were worn just once, these cleats that were never worn, and 2 signed game jerseys. If you do not have cash, you can give mobily through Cash App. Etienne Family Foundation through Cash App. Okay? So it's, if you're looking for it, it's $, our last name, Etienne Fam FDN. Etienne Fam FDN. You can give through Cash App, and that way it's going to the foundation mobily. Huh? So while you're going ahead to do that, let's bring to the stage first. Huh? I'm going to bring both up. USL Cup winner with the New York Red Bulls. 2018 Supporter Shield with the New York Red Bulls. 2020 MLS Cup champion with the Columbus Crew. 2021 Campeones Cup champion with the Columbus Crew. 2019 semifinalists in the Gold Cup. And now Atlanta United winger Derrick Etienne Jr. Yeah. You can sit right here. And keep the music going, You can sit right here. Former ECNL player, former Girls Academy player, U15, U17, U20, and senior national team player. Played in the U20 World Cup for Haiti. Now plays for the senior team and about to qualify for the 2023 World Cup. Captain of the Fordham women's soccer team, and hopefully signing a pro contract this summer. Put your hands together for Dani Etienne.
Hey.
Yeah. You can sit over there then. You get the pink mic. Okay. Did everyone get their rattles in? The raffles in? Good. So you'll have several opportunities. First one is for the one-time cleats. Shake it up, shake it up. Whoa, whoa. We got another one? Right, there's one here, babe. All right, we're good. Just close it there. See? Yep, you got it. Okay.
Come on, Jaden, waiting on you.
We waiting on you. We waiting on you. Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up. Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up. All right. What's that? Okay, Danny's going to draw. See who this is, who picks.
The whole number? 6594079. 6594079.
Yes, we got one.
You got one?
Come on, give it up.
Come
Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up.
down.
Come on down. Come on down.
Come get it. Just doing one now?
Yeah, we're just doing that one now. We'll do another one in a minute. Or you want? Let's do the other cleat. Let's do the other one too. Come on up. Come on up.
He had to give him the one closer to his size.
All right. All right, good looking. All right, congrats. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do the second one now. Huh? No, we're going to do the other pair of cleats. Okay.
Six, 5, 9, 4, 0, 3, 0. 6, 5, 9, 4, 0, 3, 0.
Got a winner? Let's go.
Castro!
Come on up. Come on up.
All right, give it up for Castro.
Congrats,
Give it up, give it up, give it up.
congrats.
2 more to go.
Okay. All right, here's a moment. We're just going to talk to them a little bit just about their journey and some moments when we're going to reveal some of the areas of mentality that they had to experience and go through to get to the levels that they are, and then we'll have some room for some Q&A in a moment. All right? So first we'll start with Derrick. All right, Derrick, your journey started obviously playing, when you were younger with different teams, but that path to pro when you came to the New York Red Bulls. Just tell us a little bit about your journey of your passion and your mentality since you were a young kid. Like I've seen it the whole time that you've been playing, but I want you to express to some of the players here who are watching the mentality you had when you started and then when you joined the Red Bulls.
Well, when I started, I think I kind of recognized pretty quickly that that's what I really wanted to do. So I was lucky enough to see you guys play. I was always around it. I was always after the games kicking the ball around, breaking stuff in the house. So I think it just became a real big passion of mine from an early age. But I think it wasn't until probably 8, 9 that I realized, like, okay, like it's actually like I can see it. It's around. And then when I got to Red Bull, that was when I think it became like permanent for me. I didn't want to do anything else. I did good in school because it kept me on the field. But like I knew from a very young age, like the only thing that mattered to me was making it professional. So I missed out on a lot of parties. I missed out on hanging out with friends. Like I was missing practice for me was non-negotiable. I didn't. It's snowing outside. As long as there's practice, there's practice. Like until now, I still enjoy practice more than playing in the games because as a kid, I've idolized Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, those guys, and they always stress the fact that it was just being better every single day. So the more and more I got better every day, the more and more I felt like I was getting closer to my ultimate goal, which was playing pro.
You mentioned about practice. What we try to instill in all the players that we coach is the importance of giving it all in training, of trying to be the best in training. You mentioned that you love training, but you never wanted to miss training. What was your mentality when practice was canceled, or maybe I couldn't get there to take you, your mom couldn't take you? How did you respond when you have an opportunity that you don't have to go to practice tonight?
I was angry. Like I went to school all day. I did all my homework. I wanted to get to practice. That's what it was. So like if I couldn't have practice, all right, word, I guess. Well, time to go outside now. So I'll go in the backyard. I would shoot free kicks, juggle like for hours until like I felt like I did something. So like I remember when I was younger, you would say like at every age you should be able to juggle like 50, 100. So I remember there will be times it's raining outside and I'm supposed to get 200 juggles and I can't get it. I'm outside crying. Like, nah, I can't go inside until I get it. And then it was just like, all right, I got it one time. Can I do it again? Can I do it again? And then it got to the point where you can't go inside until you've done it at least 3, 4, 5 times. Like, it wasn't enough for me to just, I got 200. Now let me go show my dad I can't do it again. He gonna believe me? Nah. So like it was more so always, I guess, feeling I needed to validate everything that I worked on to be able to do it multiple times over and over again, because you don't want to, hey, let me show you guys something. Like, you ever go in front of your friends like, hey, let me show you this, and then you can't do it, and they're looking at you like, what are you doing? Like, look, you know how many times I did this? You know how embarrassing that is to, hey, I did it, and you try to show them, and then you don't do it, and they stand there, and then someone just comes around and goes, I swear if you do it right now, yeah.
Almost did it.
But
We're competitors, sorry. Talk about interpretation and response. Lucky, I'm the best. Of course I could do it again, but I'm not. Sorry, Darius, didn't mean to interrupt you.
But yeah, like stuff like that, like I didn't want to take any days off because I felt like the game will give back to you what you give to it. So if I'm working every single day, that's every day I'm getting better.
So I hope you heard that part. So the game will give back to you what you put out, what you give to the game. And just because practice is canceled, the mentality of an elite baller is it's not canceled for me. I still have an opportunity to go out and do something. I still have an opportunity to learn. I still have an opportunity to improve. And so having the right mentality of that hunger and that desire, that's something that can't be coached. Desire is something that cannot be trained. It's a fire that's on the inside of you that really wants it. And so again, just as his dad, I saw those moments. I remember those moments. And there were times when I said, hey, you don't have to go to practice tonight. You know what, just chill. We just came back from out of town. You know what, just chill tonight. And he was upset. And no, I want to go. So to be an elite baller, to have the right mentality, your mentality about training has to change. If you don't like to practice, you don't like to train, not just with your team, but then on your own, it's going to be tough for you to get to the next level.
He mentioned training. Talk a little bit about the competitive side in training. Like I know he's used to come to watch us play when we played pro, and he would come to the sessions, and it was a war zone. When we were on separate teams, I hated him. I wanted to win. I wanted to be better than him. He wanted to be better than me. When we did our rondos, my rondo was the best group. We made sure that we were trying to be better than his group. So I wanted to, Derek was able to see that with us, but then he went to a different environment when he's going to the national team, going to Red Bulls. So start in your youth academy when you were 12 years old, playing for a U14 academy, 2 years up. You were smaller than everyone, okay? But what was your mentality like training-wise, the competitive side? Talk about that, please.
I was so competitive that every little thing we did, I wanted to be the best. So it's like, we're doing ball work. We can be doing ball work, and if we're like close like teammates, friends, I'll be sitting here doing what I need to be doing, and see you drop the ball. Oh, that's what we doing? That's what we doing? We dropping the ball here? Yeah. Oh, okay. Keep doing it, and that helped me with. I can't talk. If I'm kicking the ball over there, how am I gonna look at the guy next to me and be like, yeah, like, you gotta be better. Nah, you doing just as I'm doing just as bad as you. So for me, I was that competitive that I would give myself like little games and stuff to do because like I just wanted to win. I wanted to be the best. Like it got to the point that my teammates, like you don't want to lose. We got now y'all everybody's on like you get old enough to be on Twitter now, but like this is when like Twitter was just starting to pop off. So like we're talking about training when we get home on Twitter, talking, and everyone can see what we're talking about. Like, we wanted, I'm not going to say bully your teammates. I'm not saying that. But it got to the point that every single person was so scared to lose that you gave everything you could in practice. So you're going home dead. Like, felt like you gave everything because at the end of the week, if 15, 18, 22 players all tried their hardest to not lose, what do you think is going to happen at the weekend? So, like, I tried to give that mentality to my close friends, and it spread on, and then it got to the point where you 16, you 18, now you're training with the first team who it's a paycheck for them. Some of these guys got 3 kids at home. They can't afford to be losing and not playing on the weekend. So it's like livelihoods. Like everybody wants to be a pro, but you got to understand that, there's no games. If you're a forward and you go 3 games without scoring, that don't look good on you. If you're a midfielder and you're losing the ball constantly and they're going back and scoring, that don't look good. You're a defender, your man scoring every single time. It's not, go to the bench. It's, you're cut. You ain't got no job no more. So the quicker you understand that, that's where you want to be. If you hold that standard when you're young, it's not a cultural shock when you go to the academies, when you go to college, where now it's degrees are on the line. Oh, they gave this guy a full ride. You got to beat out the fact. You got to be a better player than him, player for player. But then also, you have to make sure that they're justified in the fact that this person who has a full ride has to sit on the bench to someone who doesn't.
So you talked about how you wanted to be the best, and that's one thing that we heard a quote that Pele said years ago. Pele said, "So you want to be the best?" He asked the question, "You want to be the best?" And the response was, "So does everybody else. So what are you willing to do?" And so he's always had that mentality of, I want to be the best. Now, does it mean that he was the best on every single team? Probably not.
I disagree.
But he would disagree. And this is a difference of mentality. Mentality has a level of confidence that can sometimes be confused as arrogance. But it's a level of confidence. Steven Gerrard said it years ago, that you have to have an obsession to be the best. If you want to play at the highest level, you want to be the best in that drill, the best in that game, the best in that scrimmage, and then the best in that lineup on the field. I remember seeing 7v7 end games at the end of training. And, 3 teams, right? Losing team is off. And whoever gets scored on, your team is off. And I would watch him in training when his team was getting off, was constantly getting, scored on. And then I've seen games where his team was dominating. But the games when the team was losing, I would hate to be on his team, because that's the kind of competitive nature about winning, which is a different level when you get to the performance stage. All right, some of you are in the development stage, but once you get to U15, U16 and higher, it is about results. It's about winning. And so if everyone can have that mentality starting with training, then it helps you to have that mentality to go forward when it's time to play games. All right, real quick, let's shift to Dani real quick. Dani, you played in the ECNL, played with Bethesda when we were living in Maryland for ECNL, and then you played in the Development Academy here. We talked about Derrick, who had this level of confidence, and we didn't even dive into the type of confidence he had. I mean, at 5 years old, he thought he could beat me 1v1. Like, you're 5, bro. But that's how competitive he was, all right? You didn't always have that same competitive nature, confidence that Derrick would have. Explain your journey joining an ECNL team and in your rise throughout the career of youth soccer.
Yeah, like you said, my journey was a little bit different. Like, I don't remember you guys playing pro because I was a baby, so I didn't necessarily get to see that aspect of it.
You miss the beautifulest thing in the world.
Beautifulest.
But yeah, so most of it for me came from like watching my brother play. So I mean, there were certain things that I did pick up, but like you said, I was a little bit different. So I didn't necessarily have that like outgoing confidence in myself. So I wasn't necessarily talking and like that type of competitive aspect. But I think that for me, being the first girl in the family to play soccer and having cousins and my brother and then my dad and my uncle who are constantly pushing me and stuff to be better. So I think that was where it started for me. My competitiveness was just, I'm a girl, but when I'm on the field, I'm a footballer. So I didn't want to be, the one that gets pushed around. I was the one pushing people around. I didn't even play in the ECNL until I was U12. So before that, I played with boys, and I was the one that wanted to be knocking the boys on the ground in the game. That was my mentality. So I started off being just competitive from that aspect. Is I'm a girl, but I can do just as much as you can do. I can do it better. So that's where it started. And then once I got into the ECNL, I kind of just like blended with my teammates, and I felt like I was a role player. I did what I needed to do. I was successful. I did my job and made sure that I solidified whatever needed to be done for my team. And I think as I got older, I started to develop more confidence and being a little bit more flashy. Now I'm like doing moves. I have certain things. My teammates now, they talk about how much I fake them out. Regardless of how many times I do the same move over and over again, they can never take the ball from me. So it's that kind of came after playing for a little while and just always going back to the backyard and being pushed around by the boys and then pushing them around. So I think that for me, it was a bit of a different journey, but I think that as I grew in my confidence, that's when I grew in my mentality as well. So I was able to go from, all right, being a little bit shy and more conservative to, all right, now I can show you a little bit of Derrick Etienne Jr. too. So that was kind of it for me.
Dani, talk about I remember when you were playing in Maryland and your coach told you that you're not good enough to play Division I.
Yeah, so I remember vividly. I was 14 years old, and our coach was asking us, like what are our plans for college and everything. And I gave her a list of 8 different schools I wanted to go to, and they were all Division I. And for me, I was very good in school, still am very good in school. So part of it was like, okay, I'll get my half athletic scholarship and my half academic scholarship. So I was very confident going into this meeting, like, all right, like, she's going to be like, this is great. What are we going to do next? And she looked me in my face and told me, you should probably look at Division III schools. And for me, I was 14 years old. I was still, a little bit like not necessarily doubting myself, but I was still in that phase where I wasn't positive of how good I was. So, that kind of set me back a little bit mentally, like, whoa, what do I do next? Like, my coach, somebody who's supposed to believe in me and like, push me, just told me that I'm not good enough. So, I went back to the drawing board. I mean, I have, the hardest coaches in the world in my house. So I just go back, talk to them, and they had to, like, give me that push in the back, like, hey, like, look in the mirror. Like, you're a good player. Like, you know the game, you understand the game, and you have the technical ability. And when they told me that, it was like a light bulb in my head clicked, and that became fuel. It wasn't a setback at all. It was just, all right, so now when I commit to my D1 school and my college coach is calling you and asking you about the schedule, then you'll regret what you said to me. So it was fuel. It was a hard thing in the moment, but looking back at it, it actually just made me a better player, a stronger player, and that's just how I take, that was an interpretation of a situation, and I just changed it into, all right, that's fuel, and now I'm gonna put that on my back and just use that when I play on the field, and then her mentality will change about me, and then I'll do whatever I need to do to be successful.
So that's great. Give it up. Well done. Wow. She got clapped. You didn't get the clap. So,
I'll get tears later.
Whatever.
So, but what you said was powerful, and again, it speaks about the mentality of a player. How do you interpret and respond to a situation? And here was a coach that said, "You're probably not good enough to go for this level," but her response was, "I'll use it as fuel. I'll use it as fuel to motivate me, to prove them wrong." All right, and like Derrick mentioned it as well too, that was he the best player on his team? He would disagree. Let him tell it. He was always the best player. All right, just coaches didn't see it. So that's a difference of personality and mentality of confidence. But Dani's turned hers into fuel, and it was great to see, because I didn't have to have a meeting as a parent or anything. We just went to the gym, we went to the field, did what needed to be done. And that same coach had to watch her on Fox Soccer Channel play with the U17 national team.
That same year.
That same year.
It was 15. Yeah.
So Dan, speaking of national team, you played U15 national team, U17 national team, U20 national team. What was it like having that mentality of being, because with Haiti, not only is Haiti a country of 10 million people, but Haitian players are all over the world. And so there are players that they're bringing in from different places, from France, from Canada, from Belgium, wherever. What was it like for you, 15, 17, and 20, to be in an environment with different players from different background and not losing who you were, but actually putting your stamp on who you were? What was that experience like, and the mentality you had when playing with the national teams?
I think at first it was because I've always been proud to play for the Haitian national team. I think just at first it was a little like it made me nervous, because I was like, yeah, there is so many different players coming from different places, playing at such high levels. Like, can I do this? And then, just the same thing. I sat in a room. I remember vividly, sat in a room with you and Uncle Darrell, and you guys were like, all right, like, here, seize your moment. So for me, once I heard those words, it was like, all right, so what do I do to show that I'm just as good as them and we can, be successful together? So I think that once I got there for my first camp, U15, and I had butterflies in my stomach, and once I stepped on the field, they went away, and it automatically, like, my teammates respected me because they saw the quality that I brought. And they saw that, with the quality that they already had, that, this was going to be, a special team. So that was U15. That's how it started. And then just from there, my confidence in myself and my confidence in the team just increased each year. We played with each other for so long that it made us, it made us stronger. And I think for me, I started to see myself develop as a player while I was with them. And from U17 or U15 to now, I can already, I can see the growth that I've had as a player.
How did you respond after you didn't start in the first game in the U20 World Cup, and you weren't in the starting lineup, but you win it at halftime.
Yeah. So for me, it was an honest moment of I'm happy that I'm here. I made it here. I did what I need to do to get here, and now I'm just waiting for my moment. So I was happy for my teammates who were in, who started, and I was genuinely supporting them. This is my country that we're playing for. This isn't just a club team. So I was genuinely supporting my teammates, and I was just waiting for the moment that the coach called me. And I'm glad that I was, because he literally, before the half even ended, he told me to get ready, and I went in at halftime. So it was a moment where I had to put away the frustration of not starting and just being ready for whenever that moment reveals itself. And when it did, I came in and I started that game, or finished that game out, and started every other game for that World Cup.
Yeah. So when we talk about mentality, the game, football, is about moments. It's about moments in front of the goal. It's about moments defending a goal. It's about moments as a goalkeeper making a save. It's about moments whether you're going to come off the bench, whether you're going to start. And what you do with that moment is going to be determined by your mentality. How you handle that moment is going to be determined by your mentality. And so to have a moment where you didn't start, but then you've been starting ever since. So it's seizing your moments when you get them. And then even if you have a moment that maybe you may have dropped the ball, it's not the end of the world. It's the next play. It's the next play, the next moment. Okay? Let's real quick, we'll shift gears to Derrick real quick. When you signed with the first team, with Red Bull, 17 years old, turning 18 years old, and you signed with the first team. What was it like in training with Thierry Henry?
That was probably the most terrified I've been on the field for in my life.
How so?
Because I'm an Arsenal fan, so Thierry is the king. He's like was able to, in an era with Zidane, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho in their primes, be able to hold his own. And so I saw him and what he did to Premier League, which was, when I was growing up, the best league in the world. So for when he got there, I don't know if he probably the first 2 weeks even knew what my voice sounded like. And that's crazy, because if you know me,
everybody knows what your voice sounds.
Exactly. So it's like I had that ultimate respect that for him, that whatever he said, whatever he did, like I would catch myself. If we're not on the field, we're doing we're chilling, we're waiting while they're doing the 3 teams and he's playing. I'm not even watching what's going on in the training. So what is he doing? Why does he do this? All this stuff. And I remember talking to Brad, and I was just like, yo, I have so many questions for him, but I don't know how to go up to him and be cool about it. He's like, nah, if T respects you, he'll talk to you. So I just remember I had a pretty good practice. So I was feeling a little confident. So I walked over and I was like, hey, Terry, can I talk to you for a little bit? And this is the first thing he said to me. Oh, so he speaks. So I think that kind of broke the ice for me. So, but yeah, he was different, man. The way he would talk to guys, it was stern to the point that it got your attention and you listened. But you had to have the right mentality to be able to take what he's saying and understand it.
Explain that.
So Thierry, he was very demanding. He wasn't soft-spoken. If you missed a chance, he's going to tell you, hey, you can't miss that chance. Let's go. You can't do this. Hey, bring the ball down this way. Hey, you can turn here. But he's not saying it, hey, hey, maybe next time turn. He's demanding off rip. So there's some people who are like, oh, he yelled at me, and he doesn't think I'm good.
Mentality.
Or you can take it as in, all right, this is what I did wrong. He's just not sugarcoating it. Get it done. So when you take it, that's how I took it. So when you're taking it that way, okay, he's helping me. So these are the questions that I'm asking. I was thinking about, oh, how can I ask him about why is it that you walked into this space and you looked over your shoulder 3 different times before you got the ball? Nah, he just told me right now, hey, you can turn. So now I got to know, oh, you know what? That's why he was looking. That's why it always looks like he knows what he's doing, because he's already taken 6, 7 pictures. But then once you get to play and they respect your game more, now they're coming up to you on the sideline, hey, you know, if you try this. Here's one of the craziest things Thierry has ever said. They play a long ball over the top, and Bradley Wright Phillips, this guy scored leading goal scorer for New York Red Bulls, father English scorer, played for Manchester City, played with guys that I look up to, plays the ball over, he tries to bring the ball down and shoots the ball and goes over. Thierry walks over, hey, when the ball comes over, bring it down, hold off the defender because now he's scared to foul you, and get it and just pass it in the corner. Brad looks at him. I'm not you, Thierry. And Brad's like, it doesn't matter. But if you know that's the right play, you'll think about it. And then a couple plays in the game, they bring it over. Brad brings it down, cuts it, scores. And Thierry runs over, and like that little thing right there. Any player can be like, oh, I'm not you. I can't do it because you say it. But he's not saying it because that's exactly what you need to do. It's giving you a blueprint, something that you can see in the game. Because that next play, it was like clockwork. Brad knew. Like there's a mentality where you can either take what someone's giving you and try to find a way to make it positive and try to find a way to help you make yourself better, or you can be that person who gets said something to them and they always have a negative reason as to why it's being said to me. Oh, turn this way. I don't know how many of you guys have trained with me, but you can ask Dani. I don't know how to say stuff nicely. Like, it's not me trying to be, I'm this mean guy and all this stuff. It's just that I have so much passion for what it is, and I know how good you are, and I can see that you're not giving 100%. There's games, there's practices, you can have donkey touches, the ball can be rolling under your foot, but you know it's one thing that you can control every single time you step on the pitch?
What's that?
Huh? What'd you say? Who said it? Yeah. You can, if you go on the field and give 100% every single time, you are killing yourself to give 100%. There's some people out there who might have the best touches out there, but they're going at 40%. They're going at 50%. You guys saw the France-Argentina game, right? Did y'all see how the first 20 minutes Argentina was just all over them? France couldn't get out. Mbappe, think about how good a game he had. He went into halftime with 11 touches. And that's just because Argentina completely outworked them. If that's one thing you don't hear from me from the rest of the night, is that every time when you step, you can be a jokester, you can be the quiet person, but as soon as you step, you can have their best friends with you, but as soon as you get on that field, in between those white lines, you give everything you have, because the more and more you do that, the easier it makes the weekends, and you never know who's watching.
So, Dan, this last one, and then we'll open it up for some questions, and then we'll raffle off the last few jerseys. With you played in World Cup Olympic qualifiers, you played against the USA right after they won the World Cup. So they're streaming with confidence, haven't had a goal scored on them. What was it like being on the same field with Carly Lloyd and Megan Rapinoe and you name it, you go down the list. What was it like, Julie Ertz, all of those girls, the U.S. national team who just won the World Cup? What was it like for you And what was your mentality when you approached the game?
So this might sound like not okay or whatever, but I mean, in the moment, my mentality was, I don't care who these people are. I don't care what stats they've acquired previously, but like we're competing against each other. So in this moment, whatever trophies you have, I respect it, but it doesn't make me fear you in any way. So in that moment, my mentality was, this is just another day at the office. You know what I mean? So like I was just ready to seize my moment, you know, playing against the best team in the world. Okay, so this is my moment to show y'all, you know, all right, so Haiti's not a slouch either. So I think my mentality was, all right, cool. Like, this is just another team, but we just have to put our best foot forward. I had to put my best foot forward. I just think that after the game, of course, you know, you're like, wow, okay, I just played 90 minutes against, you know, these players that I watched growing up. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was still a moment where I appreciated the game and I appreciated, like, where soccer has brought me because it's given me opportunities to be on the field with these people. But in the moment, it was definitely, all right, just now it's time to grind. That was what I was thinking in that exact moment.
Yeah. So, Dani, you got some young lady ballers here. If you can give a word of advice about the mentality of approaching this game, the game that they play now, high school, college, or pro, what words of advice would you give them about having the, you know, confidence and all of that? What words of advice would you give these young players?
Yeah, I would say if you guys are, you know, putting in the work off the field, like, it's not just about what you guys do in training, but it's what you guys do when you don't have training. You know, taking the extra training, whether it's with Etienne Soccer School or whether it's, you know, you in your backyard. That stuff always is going to help you, you know, get better. And then you also just have to have that confidence in yourself. If you're putting in that work outside of your teams, then you know that, okay, I can do it. I have the ability. I've put work in my craft, so I have, you know, trust in myself, confidence in myself that I'm going to be successful when it's time to be on the field. And I think that, you know, also too, because my personal experience, you know, not everybody is going to support you. Not everybody is going to see the value in you as a player, but as long as you see that in yourself, and when it's time for you to step on the field, you just do what you have to do to prove them wrong. You know, use it as fuel to push yourself. Okay, you don't think that I should be starting. All right, so when you do finally put me in the game, then when I get the goal and the assist, now you're gonna have to consider if I'm gonna start the next game. So I think just, you know, working hard with your teams, without your team, and then having that confidence in yourself. And if you guys want to be pro, that's what you have to do. Take that mentality, interpret different situations, but always think about, you know, how can I be better? How can I, you know, do what I need to do to get to the next level? And if you guys believe it, you guys can do it.
All right. Thanks, Dani. Yeah. And Derrick, what can you say to these young ballers that's aspiring to be, you know, high-level players, college players, pro players? Give a word of advice.
Well, for me, I know that I come off as confident. Some people who don't know me probably say arrogant, but I feel like that's, like Dani said, because I've put in the work. And I feel that's the difference between confidence and arrogance. I'm confident because I know I've worked on this hundreds of thousands of times. So that I put myself in the position that when it finally happens, it's not new to me. Arrogance is, oh, I know how good I am. So when it comes, I'll do it. And that's, for me, like, the difference. So, but I always had people who were telling me that, oh, this guy's better than you, this guy's better than you, all this stuff. I had 7 guys on my team who went to residency. If you don't know what residency is, that's for, like, the U17 national team. They'll go down to Florida, and they'll live with each other for 2 years to try to qualify and make the World Cup. All 7 of them went. You know how many of them are pros? 0. None of those guys, all those guys that all from U14, U15, U16, U17, they were telling me, yeah, they're better than you. Oh, he's this. And my mindset was, okay, you're the head coach. You can tell me they're better than me, but because of the work I put in, I don't have to believe you. So they're playing over me. Hey, it's not their fault that they're looked at better than me. So I'm not gonna hate on them. I'm not a hater. So some of these guys are some of my best friends. We talk every single day. So it's like I want you to do the best you can. But I was sitting on that bench, just waiting, because I knew I'm gonna get on this field. I'm gonna get one chance. I'm gonna score, and they're not gonna. You really didn't think about it. Do you think they care about who started the game when you scored the game winner? No. So I always had that mentality, and then on top of that, it was I'm not doing anything to prove the haters wrong. I'm doing all this to prove myself right. I don't go out there and play because this guy told me I can't play. I go out there and play because that's what I love to do. So just continue to dig in, to grind, because my favorite verse, one of my favorite rap verses is coal under pressure, what that make diamonds. So you put in that work, you understand the pressure, you fight, you claw your way every single day to be the best version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, when you get that chance, that opportunity, it's not foreign to you. You're ready for it.
All right, so there's so much more we could talk about, but for the sake of time, we're going to cap it here. We will be doing this again because there's so much more about mentality that we want to teach you. There's so much more that we've shared with them, that we've shared with other players that are at the highest level that we want you to be able to grasp and use. You know, like areas, we talked about confidence, we talked about work ethic and training, you know, but we also want to talk about self-talk. Sometimes you have to talk to yourself in the game when things aren't going good. You know, what are you saying to yourself? You know, and, you know, keep going. Ah, come on, Derrick, let's go. Come on. You know, so self-talk. Visualization we're going to talk about. We want to talk about how you can see yourself. When we go to games, I don't know if some of you guys have seen pros when they're walking on the field before the game. They're just walking. You see them with their headphones on and they're walking. And for us, we're not just walking and inspecting the pitch. That's a moment of visualization for me. So when I was walking on the field, and we taught them the same, when you're on that field and you're just looking at the field before the game, you're looking at where you're going to be making runs from, where you're going to receive the ball, where you're going to be shooting from. You know, so that's another level of high-level mentality is can you visualize yourself being successful? Can you see yourself scoring that goal? Can you see yourself, like I'll never forget it, the MLS Cup. He knew he was going to score. And I'm saying to myself, you had COVID and you missed the last game in the Eastern Conference Final. You're lucky if you play. But he said, no, I know I'm going to play. And luckily, the coach put him in the starting lineup, and he knew the moment was coming, and it was moments that we worked on for hours in training. The ball is coming in this area of the field, and the touch has got to be immaculate. But he visualized it, and he saw it happening. Dani said, I know we're going to the World Cup. They don't think that we're going to play, we're going to make it. They played against the U20 U.S. national team at that moment, and they tied them and lost in penalty kicks, but it ended up going on by winning the third place, by beating Canada. Made history, but she visualized it and saw it. So those are areas. When you talk about mentality, do you see yourself succeeding? Do you see yourself scoring? Do you see yourself making the save? Do you see yourself making the tackle? So visualization is important sometimes, you know, and sometimes just relaxing and just taking deep breaths. Sometimes you just got to calm yourself on the field and just be like, all right, let me just get myself together, because your adrenaline is going and no wonder why you're missing a chance, because you're tense. So there's so many areas that we're going to talk about the next time that we do this, and maybe even give you some homework if you really, really want to be a next-level baller. All right, so give it up for our panelists, Derrick and Dani Etienne. The special guest that we had Bradley Wright Phillips was coming, but he had an emergency with his family, so he was not able to attend tonight. But the next time we'll try to see if we can get Bradley Wright Phillips, and we'll use the technology. Hopefully we can get Tyler Adams on a Zoom. These are one of Derrick's close friends. So that's hopefully that's what we'll have the next time. So we're going to close out two things. We're going to do the raffle here, and then we're gonna leave with some final motivation about you, making sure that you. Oh yeah, you do have questions. Anyone have any questions for the two while we get ready to do the panel? Get ready to
5 people that come to this by the Christmas tree gets to ask you a question. First 5 people. First 5. Come on, don't rush the stage. First 5.
You have 2 pros, 2 national team players that sat where you sat. All right? So what questions that you may have, if you have any questions that you want, please come on up and real quick.
Come on. We got one. Come on down. We got one. Come on, clap for my man. Clap for my man. Who's this, Eric? Give it up for Eric Lodge.
How did you balance school and soccer?
Good question. who you referring that to? Or
Danny, both? For both? All right.
You were the better student, so you go first.
So for me, it's all about like time management. So knowing there's 24 hours in a day, you have to consider 8 hours of sleep, and then just balancing when you have time for doing your schoolwork and then when you have time for your soccer activities. So for me, being in college, that's like a #1 priority is figuring out what times I have to do what. So as soon as you like know, okay, this is the time I'm going to be in school and this is the time I have training. So now it's about, all right, I have 30 minutes in between this class and this class. I should prioritize doing homework. That way, when I'm done with classes or I'm done with school, I can go home, take a quick nap, and then now I'm ready for training. So it's all about just managing your time, and that means sometimes you got to put your phone down, turn your phone off, and focus in on what you have to do so that you can maximize your time at training.
Thank you.
So she's way smarter than I am, so I'm going to give it that. But for me, it was easy for me because I knew what time I had practice. So if I had practice at 4:30, I know I have to leave by 4. Takes 15 minutes to get there. School ended at 2. I get home at 2:30. So I got from 2:30 to 3:30 to get as much work done as possible. So I tried to sit down, buckle in, do all that stuff, and then whatever I didn't finish, no matter what I had going on for practice and all that stuff, whatever time I got home, so I could be gone from 4, get back at 10 o'clock. You think my mom's gonna let me go to sleep without doing my homework? You mad? Nah. So I had to just buckle down and get that done. But I mean, you make time for the stuff that you want to do. So.
Yep. Good question. Alessandra.
How did it feel when you guys made it to the national team?
That for me was, I felt that was something that was bigger than me, just for myself, because my grandfather came to America, immigrant, didn't speak any English, I think like $5 in his pocket. So for me to be able to, just for that aspect, be able to put on the jersey for him, because he gave up his dream to play soccer to come here. So I wouldn't have had anything. But then from the aspect of me being a player, that they wanted me before U.S. wanted me. So when I was the player growing into my body, trying to figure out what worked for me and all that stuff, they were willing to sit there and work with me. U.S. came later when I was more polished and all that stuff, and I felt like they just wanted me because, yeah, they felt like they could have me. So I think that it was, for me, it was more so that, one, I'm making my grandfather proud, which is going to ultimately make me happy, but then the fact that they wanted me when no one else did, so why would I turn my back on them?
Yeah, for me, it was, the same thing, making my grandfather proud. And then also just knowing that, like, this is an entire country. It's more than just, a club team or a high school team. It's a whole country that's, like, rooting for you. So I think that was also just a moment of pride and just feeling like, okay, this is more than just a game. This is, like, really, making people, millions of people in a small country feel proud for 90 minutes. So I think that was, it was just a moment where, I was just proud to be a Haitian American.
Thank you. And you guys got to understand, when Haiti plays, all the stores shut down, schools shut down, everything stops to watch the national team play. So those guys can't walk in the airport, they can't walk in public in Haiti. It's like they're superstars, for our little country. So it's a proud moment for them, and we're proud of them as well. What we got here? My man, Landon. Give it up for Landon, everybody. Landon.
When you had a big game, how were you feeling before the game?
I mean, I always have butterflies before big games, but it's like a before the game thing. So as soon as I step on the field, once the whistle blows, it's like a switch turns on in my head, like, all right, it's go time. So I think, I always have those initial nerves and butterflies of like, okay, it's time to perform, time to do what I have to do, and then once the whistle blows, it's time to go.
Before like big games, I am the most calm, like happy, because like this is what I do all my work for. So when I'm in the gym, no one's there, when I'm shooting, when no goalkeepers, on mannequins and all that stuff, I'm doing all that stuff because end of the year MLS Cup, that's where I want to be. So when I'm there, it's just like kind of like take it in, like, oh my goodness, it's pause. This is where I want to be. So you have to be in the moment, but also don't let the moment get too big for you, because that's when you start to get nervous. That's when you start to feel like, oh, maybe I can't do it. So, but I for the most part, I'm as calm as can be.
Good, thank you. Thanks, Landon.
Thank you, Landon. Two more. Give it up for Darius.
Did you ever have a period of self-doubt, and how did you get through that moment?
Yeah, I did. Mine was probably last year. I went the whole year without scoring a goal, and I had to go on Twitter every single weekend and see people tweet at me. I had to hit my DMs, comment on my pictures, and all that stuff. So I was like, kind of like, yo, like, it kind of got to me. And then I got to times where I got chances now and I'm missing, like stuff I know I should be scoring. So I had to really, take a step back, get off social media, and just, think about why I do it, why I do the things that I do and all that stuff. So, I mean, it gets pretty lonely, to be honest, when your job is to score goals and you're not scoring. So I felt like, okay, well, I stop playing now because I'm not scoring. That's my job and all that stuff. But, it only takes one little thing to turn around. So I had a good week of training. Next game I scored, and it was just like, all right, a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. But for the most part, you can't let the outside world, outside distractions creep into your mind, because there's a lot of people out there who won't even watch the game, but they'll tweet at you just because they see, oh, his name is trending right here, so this guy sucks, so you're this. But you just got to be able to block that stuff out, because at the end of the day, all those people who are doing that stuff on Twitter would love to be where you're at right now. So don't worry about that stuff.
Give it up for Pedro.
Is there like any time where you wanted to like just stop playing?
Yeah, actually, which is funny now that I think about it. But when I was in 8th grade, and I was preparing to go to summer trainings for like varsity high school, and I was just having like a moment of self-doubt, I guess you could call it, and I just was like, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I want to do this anymore. And I remember riding in the car to practice with my dad, and he was like, just you tell me what you want to do. Like, just, do you really think you want to stop playing? And I was like, I don't know. And I went to sleep that night, and I woke up the next day, and I was like, all right, Dad, like, I'm ready to go to practice. And he kind of looked at me like, are you, like, what's going on? I don't know which direction you're in. So I think it was just, I had to like kind of sit back and really think about it. Like, do I play the game because I want to play it, or do I play it because, you know, it's just a sport, it's a hobby? And that day I really like evaluated myself, and I said, no, like, I love this. Like, what would I do if I didn't play soccer? And I think once I determined that like I love this and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, that's when I was like, nah, no shot, I'm giving this up. And then the end of that week, I made varsity high school, so it was worth it.
You ever felt like,
No. For me, I think one of the hardest times was when I got when my contract didn't get picked up with Red Bull, and one of my I grew up watching doing YouTube and all that stuff. So I would YouTube like Muhammad Ali, and one of the things that stuck out with me was I said I was the greatest before I knew I was, and I think my dad can attest to this. In 2019, I went to work out every single day for 2 months straight, and this guy never saw me stress, never saw me complain, and all that stuff. But on the inside, I was stressing. Yo, where am I gonna play next year? Like, I'm in the league now. I'm not trying to drop below the league. I wanna have to take a year off and try to figure out what I'm gonna do. But every single day, I went in to work, business as usual, and I faked it every single day. That I'm fine, ain't nothing wrong with me, all that stuff. And then I got home one day, called from my agent, yo, you got a trial. They gonna fly you out in 2 days. And that year, I went from being called in to trial for a team in preseason, called my dad the first day, yo, we gonna win MLS Cup, and I'm gonna be starting. That year, started, won MLS Cup. So I feel like he said it, visualization is a real thing, because if you'd asked me what I was going to do, I would not have been able to tell y'all. But if you looked at me, you'd have thought for sure, ain't nothing wrong with me. So nah, I ain't never. I fake it till I make it, to be honest.
All right. No more questions. Clap it up one more time for Derrick and Dani. All right, we're going to auction off these last two, and then we're going to hear what it means to grind, and we're going to go out of here. All right? All right. Let's go. We've got two jerseys. We got the home jersey, and both of these have the 2 stars because they're 2-time MLS champions. And these are special because he's no longer with this club no more. So this is going to be worth something someday, especially when he go across the pond to Europe. All right? Visualization. We got to see that. All right, so here we go. You want to sign it? Can you come and pick this for us? This one is for the home jersey. Six, 5, 9, 4, 0, 0, 7. 6, 5, 9, 4, 0, 0, 7. Yeah. You got it? He said, give me that. Yeah. One more. We got one more. One more person. Huh? Come on. The Fordham one will be available in May. After that, after she gets that diploma. That degree, yeah. Difference. All right. For the last one, 6593996. Yes. Come on up. Come on up. Yeah. This is crazy. This is real. You got it. Someone take a picture of her. Give it up for Julia. Okay. All right. Last thing we're gonna do, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna we're getting ready to. There's a artist in our family that does his thing with music, internationally recording artist, but he's also a footballer. All right. So he's getting ready. There's a song that he wrote for elite ballers. There's a song that he wrote for elite ballers. And I know you may have heard it before if you follow him on social media. But it's a song about putting in that hard work. It's about putting in the hard work. It's called Grinding. All right. But he's going to perform this song for us. When we finish, we can all come and you can take selfies with Derrick and Dani. I'd like to at first, before he does this, I want to acknowledge the Salvation Army's Angel Tree. We have a representative who's here on tonight. If you can come. Come on up, while they cue the music. You know, giving to children whose parents may be incarcerated is something that, you know, is dear to our heart. It's something that we wanted to do because we've seen it happen before. We've experienced it before, even in our own family. And so we want to make sure that these children are able to experience the joy and have a smile on their face while they're going through the most difficult times in their family. And so this is a program that the Salvation does year after year. And this is a branch that's in Patterson, and we called them up and we said we want to do this, and they welcomed us with open arms. So just real quick, if you can just state who you are and just appreciate your help.
Thank you. It is a privilege to be here with you guys. I am Lieutenant Joel Monasterio with the Salvation Army in Patterson, and this year we have 542 children waiting for these gifts. So this is a great help. We are thankful. All these children are facing difficulties. Some of them are, they don't have dad at home. They don't have mom at home. And you know, we have an adult rehabilitation center as well. So all those people, you know, struggling with addictions, their children are part of this program as well. So I'm sure they will be smiling. And they will be so happy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yes. And so thank you, Lieutenant. We appreciate you coming in and showing your support. And when we finish, we want to take a picture of all the gifts, and then they're going to make sure that everyone, those young people, are going to get that smile on their faces for this holiday season. All right. So we're getting ready to do this. All right. We need the only thing, though, you just can't just sit there and just look and spectate. I need every elite baller to stand on your feet. Yep, every elite baller. If you're not an elite baller, if you don't have that mentality, you can keep sitting down. All right? Stand on your feet, and I want you to come a little bit closer to the stage. Yep.
We ready?
Stand to your feet, come a little bit
ready?
closer to the stage. All right. We ready to do this?
We ready.
Okay. I need you to put your hands together. He's a footballer in his own right. Darrell Etienne, a.k.a. D.Etienne.
Hey, yo, hold up. We about to get straight into it. But before we get started, y'all know I'm about to do grinding. I'm about to tell y'all how the hook goes. I need y'all to say it with me. It goes like grinding on a different type timing. So say it with me, grinding on a different type timing. I don't hear it, grinding on a different type timing. One more time, grinding on a different type time. Hey, Matt, I think they're ready. I think they're ready. I think they're ready. I think they're ready. Go ahead, hit me with that. We go. Hustling every day, Rick Ross. All of the haters is pissed off like K-Shon. I'm big dog, I'm Sean. Come on, Matt.
We experience a little technical difficulties.
We gonna do it one more time just to make sure y'all ready then. Oh yeah, we good. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Love. They say they grinding, but my hustle different. They say they love me, but the love is missing. They say they moving, but they stuck with chilling. I've been working for more than a couple million. Hustling harder than Benny did. Hustling like I got many kids. I'm outside, plenty head. Slept on me, many did. Handling business, EVMD. All of these haters is sleeping on me. Grinding for months, grinding for weeks. Out to my shorty to keep it low key. I've been grinding for weeks. Lil Easy, your favorite rapper wanna still beat me. Always working and I will repeat. I told the haters you will see me. I be working like my mama. I've been working like Rihanna. I've been adding up the commas. I've been dealing with the drama. I've been feeling like top dog. Keep it pushing, I will not fall. My time, I cannot stall. Y'all gotta say it with me. Grinding on a different type timing. Tell them I've been grinding on a different type timing. Your boy been grinding on a different type timing. Tell them I've been grinding on a different type timing. Yeah, I've been grinding, I've been shining like it's no tomorrow. I be working through the pain, pushing through the sorrow. Haters envy and friend me cause I'm a superstar. I be dishing, they wishing that I lower the bar. Hustling everyday Rick Ross. All of the haters is pissed off like K-Shon. I'm big dog, I'm shining on them like lip gloss. Talking about work they ain't never hit. Claiming a life they ain't never lived. They really care about their images. They don't even know what the feeling is. Early mornings with a nice late. Game on throwing like a dice game. Blindsided like a blind date. My circle different, I don't like lames. Even working in the off season. Motivated with a long reason. Nobody different, they all decent. Working so all the results pleasing. Been a hustler, Cassidy. I've been working like an athlete. All of the haters is happily. All of the haters is mad at me. I got something to prove, baby. They thinking they better, they crazy. We not alike, shady. We gonna say it again. Grinding on a different type timing. Tell them I've been grinding on a different type timing. Your boy been grinding on a different type timing. Tell them I've been grinding on a different type time. Say I've been grinding, I've been shining like it's no tomorrow. I be working through the pain, pushing through the sorrow. Haters envy and friend me cause I'm a superstar. I be dishing, they wishing that I lower the bar. Huh? 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 Good night.
All right. Yo, thank you all again for coming out. Listen, before you go, if you do want to take a quick selfie with them, you're welcome to do so. If you want to go home, do what you got to do. We thank you all for coming out tonight. We'll see you for the next mentality training. Happy holidays to every single one of you. God bless. We'll see you next time. Peace. Come on, yo. Here, the lighting's good up here, so if you want to come through. This way. This way. This way. Keep moving for now. We're going to take a picture of this, all the gifts.